Okay, ang tanong ng karamihan, is it okay if you blank your EGR? These two-piece metal thingy here. Ito ang EGR natin, connected to the vacuum hose. Ayan. And then EGR pipe coming from the exhaust, going to the EGR and then the intake manifold. EGR, the exhaust gas recirculation. Ayun, by the word itself, part of the exhaust or the exhaust gas magre-recirculate going to the EGR pipe by the exhaust manifold, going to the EGR, pabalik sa intake manifold natin, which masasak or ayan, or babalik papunta sa may intake manifold natin going to the combustion chamber. So ang EGR, nag-o-open yan partially and then mag-o-open yan when in high RPM na. Okay, so sabi nga, part of the exhaust gas will recirculate going to your intake manifold. Ibig sabihin, carbon yon, exhausted na, hindi na, wala nang oxygen or hindi na siya fresh. Okay, so the intake will suck air coming from your intake, your air filter going to your intake pipe by the turbo, going sa intake pipe going to your intake manifold. Yan, manggagaling dyan ng cold air natin. So it will mix with the exhaust gas, which doesn't contain cold air or yung fresh air, nagko-contain ng oxygen, but it will help in the stabilization of the temperature inside the combustion chamber. Okay, so ang magandang pagkaka-explain yan, actually you can search it via the internet. But in my opinion, yun yung simplest explanation for me. Okay, so ang exhaust gas, kapag titignan mo kung ang itsura niyan, kung anong lumalabas sa may puwetan or sa may tambutso ng sasakyan, ganun ang itsura ng EGR. So meaning carbon, powdery, dry. Ayan. So yung carbon na yon, it will go back to your intake manifold, to the combustion chamber, mailalabas naman via the exhaust manifold papuntang tambutso, and then eventually lalabas sa tambutso. But because normal, okay yun, okay yung process yan, but because of the breather coming from the top cover, eto dito before the oil catch can, due to the pressure coming from the engine and also the movement of the rocker arm, may tumatalsik na engine oil, and then because of the pressure, nakakonect yan from the top cover going to the intake pipe, and then sinasakyan ng turbo. So malakas ang vacuum, eventually may tumatalsik going to the breather, sa breather hose papunta sa intake pipe, eventually pumapasok yan sa intake manifold natin. Okay, so part of the engine oil, some of the engine oil pumapasok sa intake manifold, meaning nababurn yan going to the combustion chamber. Pero because of the EGR, ayan, diyan tayo nagkakaproblema. Combination of a dry carbon plus a hot and wet engine oil. Pagsamahin mo ang carbon, pagsamahin mo yung engine oil plus the cooking or the heat or the because of the combustion coming from the engine, anong nangyayari dyan? Naluluto ang engine oil together with the carbon. Ang problema natin ngayon, because of the movement of the piston going up and down, some of the engine oil hindi pumapasok ng combustion chamber. So nag-i-stay siya sa may intake manifold natin, sa apat na pipe going to the combustion chamber, paakyat dito sa intake manifold. Okay, so eventually yung process na yon, sabihin natin in 1 year, in 2 years na hindi mo pinalinisan ang intake manifold, makikita mo dyan some of the engines, lalo na grabe yung mga high mileage, may mga leak coming from the intake pipe, also doon sa gasket ng combustion chamber, and then the intake manifold. Okay, so nagbi-build up ang sludge. Ang sludge, never mong maaalis yan sa intake manifold unless ibaba natin ang intake manifold. So, one easiest solution, number one easiest solution na napaka dami ng controversy on the internet is the installation of a oil catch can. Ang oil catch can is good for not only for petrol engines, but it is best for the diesel type na engine. So ang gamit ng oil catch can is to filter out some, or not maybe some, or halos lahat ng engine oil na pwedeng pumasok to the intake manifold. It doesn't mean na once na nag-install ka ng oil catch can, hindi mo na rin kailangan maglinis ng intake manifold. It will prolong the time for you to clean the intake manifold. In my experience, 2007 to 2010 okay siya. 2010 nagtataka ako kung bakit medyo humina ang makina. So sinubukan kong ibaba together with my friend na mekaniko. Hello Kuya Owen. Ayan, binaba namin to. Ayun, madumi ang intake manifold, so nagpalinis ako. Wala pa akong OCC, hindi pa na-blank ang EGR. And then after 2 years, ganun ulit, nagpalinis ulit ako. That was 2012, and then up to 2014. And around mga 2014, 2015, I decided to install a oil catch can and blank the EGR. At hindi ko na matandaan din, nauna yatang binank yung EGR ko before the installation of oil catch can. Ayun, so since then, I think few years ago, nagpalinis ulit ako ng intake manifold. Hindi na siya ganun kadumi dahil na blank ko ng EGR. Also, nang-install rin ako ng oil catch can. The sludge, wala nang sludge. Normal na may konting carbon ng intake manifold, may dumi dahil sa because of the air. Also, the one time kasi hindi ko napansin, medyo nasa kalahati ng OCC ko. So some of the oil siguro due to movement, yung elevation, mayroong oil na pumasok dito sa intake manifold.